Hello, my dear children. Today we are going to learn a new poem, Death the Leveler by James Shirley. The poem deals with the theme of death. What is the role of death? How death is unique. Death the Leveler by James Shirley. The glories of our blood and state are shadows, not substantial things. There is no armor against fate. Death lays his icy hand on king's scepter and crown, must tumble down, and in a dust be equal made with the poor crooked scythe and spade. Some men with swords may reap the field and plant fresh laurels were they killed. But their strong nerves at last must yield. They tame but one another still. Early or late they stoop to fate and must give up their murmuring breath. When they pale captives creep to death, the garlands wither on your brow, then boast no more of your mighty deeds. Upon death's purple altar now, see where the victim bleed. Your heads must come down to the cold tomb. Only the actions of jest smell sweet and blossom in their dust. So children, this is the poem. This is actually a very famous poem and a very beautiful poem. This poem reminds about the ultimate reality. Only one thing is real, and that is death. Once a person is born, he is quite sure of only one thing, and that is his death. Nothing is sure in this world other than death. So we can learn the poem part by part. First, we are going to learn the first part of the poem, that is, the glories of our blood and state are shadows, not substantial things. So the poet James Shirley says that the glories of our blood and state, that means don't ever think that I am born in a prestigious family, my blood origin is very high, or just think that I am born in America, or don't ever boast with your blood and state. Wherever you are born, in wherever hereditary you are at last have to surrender in front of death. The glories of blood and state are substantial things. Substantial means temporary. They are like shadow. They are not real. So the glories on this earth regarding our hereditary or our nation, the prestige of our nation, etc. are temporary thing. They are not real. They are just temporary. There is no armor against fate. Fate actually means destiny, but here it means the ultimate destiny. Ultimate destiny means death. So there is no armor. Nothing can prevent us from death. Nothing, no armor can prevent us from death. Armor means shield that is used for protection. Self-protection is called as armor. Death lays his icy hands on king. So what is it? Till then the kings are the very much active person, isn't it? They are very much active. Active persons are called as hot persons, isn't it? They will be very hot, energetic person, isn't it? So even the so-called active king will be once hugged by the icy hands of death. Icy indicate passive, dull, inactive. Till then, active king need to surrender in front of the dull, inactive death. Why death is called as icy, dull and inactive? Because by the process called death, we all will become inactive. Till then the king was very active, but with the element called death, with the factor called death, we all will become very much passive, dull, inactive. Okay. Scepter and crown must tumble down. Scepter and crown are indications used by king. Kiridavum Chenkolum, isn't it? There is a great phrase in Malayalam itself. These are indications of signs of king. This too must tumble down. Tumble down means come down. They have to bend their legs in front of death. Nothing can prevent you from death. Even the king's scepter and crown, the so-called bottom level of our life. The king indicates the strata one of our society. That king too have to come down in front of death. So that is that. And in the dust be equal made with poor crooked skite and spade. And thus the strata one king have to come down and lay along with the common people. All the people are lie down in the dust. So there the king and the common men are equal in front of death. The scythe and spade are the instruments used by the poor farmers. So scythe and spade and scepter and crown are equal in front of death. They have to lie. Both the stratas of society have to lay equal in the dust. So death is here called as equalizer. Death equalizes us. Okay. Some men with swords may reap the field and plant fresh laurels where they kill. So there might be some people might be warriors in war. They might be able to cut down several heads in the war, and they may earn laurels. Laurels means prizes. Flowers were given as prizes for them as they reap more head. The warriors who reap more head in the war might have earned laurels, but their strong nerves at last must yield. They tame but one another till early or late they stoop to fate. So the person who earned much laurels as a result of cutting more heads too must yield. Yield means surrender. Surrender their strong nerves in front of death. They are called as the persons with strong nerves because they have killed many. Isn't it? Warriors are persons with strong nerves. That is why they were able to cut down several heads. Isn't it? But their strong nerves must to surrender in front of death. They tame but one another still, early or late they stoop to fate. The warriors may be able to procrastinate their death. Early or late they stoop to death. The difference between warrior and common man is that a warrior is able to keep away death from him for some time, but at last he must yield to death. Have you understood, children? What is the difference between a warrior and a common man? Warrior is able to change his death. He is able to keep death away from him for some time, but he too will have to surrender in front of death. That is the difference between a common man and a warrior. A common man surrenders in front of death early, but in the case of a warrior, he may be able to keep away death from him for some time and must give up their murmuring breath. Murmuring breath means the intake and outtake of a breath. There is a sound, no? That is called as murmuring breath. That murmuring is an indication that we are living. If that murmuring stops, that indicates that we are dead. isn't it? So early or late, they have to surrender in front of death. There is no difference between a common man and a king or a warrior. The only difference is that the warrior or the king is able to keep away death from him for some time. Okay? So, why thy pale captives creep to death? So, pale captives, pale means very much weak. Captives means the person who are in prison. So, according to theory of Adam and Hawa, we believe that humans are captives in this earth. Human beings are born in this earth as a result of the sin committed by Adam and Eve. So we are all prisoners. So the poet says that the king may stoop to death very late, but the pale captive means common man. The very weak captive means prisoners on earth. Prisoners on earth means common man. They creep to death. They will creep towards death. Okay? The garlands wither on your brow. Then boast no more of your mighty deed. The garlands on your brow. That means the garland. Garland means ornamentation. Ornaments. Okay. What ornaments our brow? That is eyebrow. Here there is a hair, no? That is called like garlands of brow is this hair. It will wither. Wither means destroy. That is quite true, no? As we get older, the hair is in the eyebrow will fall down. Wither means destroyed, fall down. Okay. So then boast no more of your mighty deed. So everything will have, by year and year, everything is becoming old. Then no more boast of your mighty deed. Hey human being, why you boast on your mighty deed? Everything will change. By year and year you will become old, and at last you will have to surrender towards death. So here the poet is saying to human being, why are you boasting on your mighty deed? Mighty deed, big deeds. What is the big deed here? The big deed is that I have killed this much person in the war. They are boasting this thing. So the poet says that stop boasting. At last you have to surrender in front of death. Upon death's purple altar now, see where the victim bleed. Death's purple altar. Altar, you know, the place in a church is called as altar. Death's purple altar. Purple color indicate, what is the purple color? It is neither red nor violet. What is purple color? Purple color indicate that there is no equality. Purple is the color of equality. So in the altar of death, all are purple in color. All are equal. Okay. See where the victim bleed. In the altar of death, where the victor means the person who achieved victory. Victim means the person who was victim of the incident. That means victory means the person who succeed, and victim means the person who received failure. Both will be, the victor and victim will be considered equal in the altar of death. There everything is purple. Purple means equal. Your head must come to the cold tomb. So everybody's head must come down to the cold tomb. Tomb, why it is cold? It shows again the inactiveness of human being. Till then you may be active, but in the tomb all are inactive, cold. Okay. Only the actions of just smell sweet and blossom in the dust. So what remains after death is our good actions remain here. Only the actions of just means the person who had done justice throughout his life. The person who had done justice throughout his life. So the actions of the just people will remain here. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay. smell sweet and blossom in the dust. Even when we are laying in the dust, the actions of the just people will remain here. Nothing more. How many heads you earn, how many acres of land you have, how much gold you have, etc. will not remain. Only the actions of just people will remain in this earth even after our death. Okay, the poem explains the uniqueness of death, how death equals all types of human being. The poem is really interesting, very much telling about the reality of life. I hope you all understood the poem very well. If not, feel free to ask doubts. Okay, thank you.